20 years after the passage of the Americans with Disabilities Act. This advocate works tirelessly to assert and expand the rights of people with disabilities, to protect them from discriminatory and illegal intrusions into their private lives, and to make certain that they have access to all the resources that they need in order for their families to thrive. I am proud to introduce to you this evening, Carrie Ann Lucas, founding director of the Center for the Rights of Parents with Disabilities, who drove across the country from Denver with her 4 daughters and wonderful assistants to be here with us tonight. Carrie Ann.
I have to be smarter than the microphone. Thank you all, and I feel very honored to be here among such an esteemed group of folks tonight, and I'm thrilled to be joining the Petra family, very honored to be joining the Petra family. I'm really, in the last 24 hours, I've really started to get a sense of what it means to be part of the Petra family, and I thank you for all of that. I'm Carrie Lucas, as Mr. Phillips mentioned. I founded the Center for Rights of Parents with Disabilities, and it's part of the Colorado Cross Disability Coalition in Denver. I got involved in this work helping, really becoming impassioned about helping parents with disabilities about 12 years ago now, when my oldest daughter, who is my biological niece, entered foster care. And it became evident that she was not going to be returning to her parents, her biological parents. And at that time, I stepped up and said, I don't want her staying in foster care. I want her to come with me. Talked with other family members. Nobody else was really in a position to take Heather in at that time. And so I stepped up. And she was in the state of Tennessee, and I was in Colorado. But the state of Tennessee did not deem me fit to be a parent of Heather. At that time, I was finishing my Master of Divinity degree. I was in a good position to be a parent. I'd been a teacher for 7 years. At that point, I was working as a youth pastor. I had a lot of experience working with youth and children, and also was working for a disability rights organization. And Tennessee's position was that there's no way that a handicapped woman could take care of this handicapped child. And fortunately, we had a court-appointed special advocate who advocated for us and let the judge know that I existed. At that time, I knew nothing about what the law said and what the law required for placement with relatives, and the priority that is placed for children in foster care to be placed with relatives. It was after about 14 months of fighting that eventually, and the judge continually ordering that my daughter be placed with me, that she finally arrived. But even as they brought her to me, as they flew back to Tennessee the next day and reported to the judge after being on the verge of contempt of court yet again for not placing her with me, they reported to the judge, well, there's no way that she's going to be able to care for her. We're going to have to be out there in a couple weeks picking up that child. Well, we're now 11 years later, and Heather is doing beautifully and still with me. And it was really that experience of knowing that I, as a reasonably well-educated person, was experiencing this, and I knew that so many other parents with disabilities didn't stand a chance in our system. And it was with that idea that I decided, well, maybe I ought to go to law school now. And I thought, oh, I'm going to do mostly ADA work and a little bit of family law on the side. Well, as I started learning more, I realized my priorities were completely backwards. And I needed to be focusing on juvenile law and family law with a little bit of the ADA stuff on the side, which is how my life has worked out. My clients are parents with all types of disabilities. My clients who have, and many of my clients are involved with the social welfare child protection system. Many of them do have have issues that they could use some help with in their families. I also have a number of clients who have no reason for having social services involved. Those tend to be my clients with purely physical disabilities, or my clients who are blind, where some hospital social worker has decided, oh my gosh, I don't see how on earth this parent could take care of an infant, and they won't let the baby go home. And I get about one of those cases a year in Colorado. The rest of my clients have a variety of disabilities. The most prominent disabilities are intellectual disabilities and mental illness, and sometimes the combination of the two. About 75% of my clients also have children who have disabilities. Sometimes the parents are truly lacking in some parenting skills and they need some assistance. Those parents tend to be parents who have grown up in the foster care system themselves, where there's a system where they were not taught the skills and they didn't get the nurturing and the parenting that they needed in order to be successful parents themselves. And those parents, we work tirelessly to help. Another group of parents are parents who just need access to resources. They exist. Fortunately, in Colorado, we have decent resources to help people with disabilities live independently in the community. And this includes people with developmental disabilities and people with mental illness. Unfortunately, there's a long waiting list, particularly for parents with intellectual disabilities. But we help those parents navigate those systems. Other parents are victims of domestic violence. An extraordinary number of my clients are victims of domestic violence, both male and female. There's a great deal of non-disability on disability violence within our community. And those parents are trapped in a cycle and get double victimized because when they try to get out of their relationships and try to seek help, they get penalized and their children get taken away from them. And so those are parents that we also try to help. And a lot of my work, while I'm an attorney and I do represent parents in court, probably 80% of my work really is more social work and just general advocacy, teaching self-advocacy skills, teaching parents how to access systems, and teaching them the skills to maintain the services once social services are out of their lives. And we have a desperate need of services like this throughout the country. We have the only program of this sort in Colorado, and we serve primarily parents within Colorado. We provide some technical assistance to parents outside of Colorado, but in terms of hands-on services, we only serve parents in Colorado. And there's just an incredible need for this to be replicated around the country. So I think starting here tonight will give us a great opportunity to begin to expand that program. Thank you very much.